Welcome to part 3 of Competency 6. In this video, we will discuss graphs of inequalities. Number 1, what are the vertex and axis of symmetry for y equals -3, parentheses, x minus 1 squared minus 2? Okay, this is what we call vertex form. It's very convenient. Okay, so if we solve this for x, we get x equals 1. And this is our axis of symmetry. Okay, that being said, all right, let's see. Well, that allows us to mark out B and D. Okay, so we are left with A and C. But also highly convenient is that we know that the vertex is H and K. Well, this is our K. Well, that's -2. Okay, well, and I can already see that C is our option. Okay, however, now let's look at our H. Okay, you're looking at this going, wait a second, that says -1. Contraire. It's right here. It's that same one. And there we go. Option C, verified. Okay. Number 2. Which of the following is the axis of symmetry for y equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 1 in the xy plane? Okay, well, you need to remember this for your axis of symmetry. Now, we can also look in our calculator to help us out. We need to check it, but we have x equals. Okay, now what is the axis of symmetry? If you forget the formula, it's your quadratic formula without the discriminant. So what is that? Minus b, or b is -8, over the denominator, which is 2, times the a, and our a is 2. I'm not going to do that in my head. My brain hurts. So negative -8, then go down, 2 parentheses 2, enter, it's 2. Okay, and that is B. Okay, all right, let's look at number 3. Actually, we could go up here. Okay. Which of the following points is the, oh, you know what? I promised that we would check that in the calculator. And the reason I'm saying that, it says, which of the following points is the vertex of the graph of y equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 1? Same equation. Let's put it in the calculator and look. First, we need to verify our axis of symmetry. And if our axis of symmetry is correct, then we know B and C are out and we're between A and D. Okay? So let's put this in our table. Let's see. Let's clear it. We had 2x squared minus the 8 and then x and then plus 1. Did I put that in correctly? Yes, I did. Now push enter. Yeah, let's go ahead and just look at start at 0, go by steps of 1. And how do I know steps of 1 is because all my answers, my every every value in my answers are integers. Sorry about that. Okay, and I want to go auto so I can see it all. Okay, now there you go. So we need to go to 2. There's 2 to -7. Okay. Well, I'm going to say that's it. But what do we need to do on our calculator to make sure? So as I arrow down and I go to 3, we should see -5. Bam, there we go. Option D has been verified. Let's look at number 4. Which of the following points is the vertex of the graph vertex of the graph of y equals 2x squared minus 4x plus 3 in the xy plane. Okay, we saw this guy once already. Well, let's put this in the calculator and see what happens. And what we do is we don't, I mean, you're thinking, okay, wait a minute, but above we check the axis of symmetry. Why would you do that? Just check all of these guys. Go down the line, and it's very convenient. 0, 1, 2, and 3, and just see which one works. So let's do that, okay? So I just keep pushing clear till it takes me back right there. Now I put it in. 2x squared minus 4x plus 3. Okay, let's enter. Start at 0, and let's just look and see what we get. 0, okay, no. 0 has 3. That's not it. That's not going to work. Okay, all right, vertex. Points is the vertex. Well, look at what we have here. 0, 3, and then 1, 1, and then 2, 3. Well, there's 3 sandwiching this 1, so the vertex is 1, 1. That is what I'm going to believe, okay? Well, kind of has to be, all right? Okay, that's been verified. Now let's go to number 5. Number 5, which of the following represents the graph of 2x squared minus y less than 8? Okay, the secret here is to put that in a y-intercept form. Okay, now I'm going to skip some steps because you guys are not high school students. Okay, so this is what you can do. You can say 2x, oops, that's not an x. Sorry about that. 2, wow, that is not working. There you go. Okay, 2x squared is okay. Now look, my negative y needs to be on the other side, make it positive, and then my 8 needs to come to the side on the left-hand side, so it needs to be a negative. So I have negative 8 less than y. So when I put it in this form, I see that I need every value of y has to be above the curve. Okay. My curve is less than my y. Well, the minute I saw that, I knew that anything below, like A and D, had to be eliminated. Okay. And I need you to make a note of how each of these curves here, each curve, oh, I have a like a, there you go. If I would push it correctly, there we go. Okay. We go to highlight. All right. See how they all have that dash line? Well, that, if you don't already know, you need to make sure and look for that with my inequality. Okay, with your inequality. All right, so we don't have to worry about it because they're all dash lines. So we're covered with that. And we've gotten rid of some shading issues. But now we're down to C and B. Well, how do we know which one? Well, that all depends on the equation itself. So we go to our table. Now, you may already know by looking at the vertex, and you may know, but let's say these numbers are ridiculous, okay? And the graph has been squeezed into a shape. And you're like, okay, well, that's not super helpful. You know what I mean? They kind of alter it and only put one or two numbers on there, and then you got to go figure it out. So just in case that's true, put in your equation x and square it, and now we need minus 8. Okay, now enter. And we just need to go and check these vertices. Now, you could do the ask business or have your table start where you need it, but these are pretty small numbers, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so let's enter. Okay. Well, if you have zero, like C, is it 0, 0? Well, nah, I'm not believing it because I see 0, -8. So that eliminates C. So I'm going to believe B. But before I believe that completely, well, let's see here. I have verified. Go back to my highlighted green. I have verified the vertices at 0, -8. Okay, we see that in our calculator, first row. All right, and then when you go down, you see 2, 0. Okay, so all we have to do is just arrow up real quick, make sure, yep, there it is, -2, 0, done, verified. Okay, it's always best to very quickly, like visually check it real quick and then move on. Okay, all right, our calculator's done all the heavy lifting, honestly. Okay, number 6. Which of the following points lies in the solution region of, oh goodness gracious. Guess what? That's not quite as tough as you think it is, to be honest with you, because let's look at the easiest one first, the last one. Okay. What am I going to do? I'm going to sketch this really quick. All right. I'm going to go like this. Now, during your test, if they offer you graph paper, take it. And when they offer you that graph paper, remember that you can use the like the edge of something, like an edge of another piece of paper, and draw this out a little more accurate than I am. Okay. So let's see what we're looking at here. It says all of my y values are going to be less than 0. Okay. So let me go back to my highlighter. Well, that means they're not even going to be actually on my x-axis. They're all going to be down here. Here they are. They're all down here. Okay, now let's look at our other uh, equations with our piecewise function. Well, we need to put them in a y-intercept form so we kind of know what we're dealing with. But even before we do that, we could eliminate some things. What could we eliminate? Well, anything in Q1 and Q2 we cannot use. Any point that lies here. So anything that's positive, positive, that means a positive x and a positive y here. Okay, that gets rid of D. So get rid of D. And then over here with Q2, that it would be anything that has a negative x and a positive y. Well, that's A. Okay. Now, looks like we have two other options. We have a -1, -2, or -5, -6. Okay. So we put the first one in that intercept form, we draw it, and then we try to analyze what we look at what we have thus far. Okay. All right. So let me change colors here. All right, let's see here. That would be, we're kind of running out of space here, but we'll be okay. All right. I see. Y is greater than or equal to 4 minus, well, no, it's minus plus. See, that was plus. When I bring it to the other side, it has to be plus 2x, okay? Well, let's see, let's gauge that. Well, that is going to be, let's say 4 is up here, okay? Let's see here. So that would be 2, that'd be 1, that would be 3. All right. I'm doing the best I can here, just sketching. All right. If you have graph paper, that'd be great. Stop the video, sketch it out for yourself, and then come back and see what I say. I wouldn't blame you, right? Okay. So now we have a slope of down 2 over 1. Okay. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And let's do a 1, 2, 3. I don't need too much. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3. Thank you for bearing with me, guys, by the way. You are very sweet. I wouldn't blame you if you just Yeah, fast forward toward past this goal, right past it. Okay, so we need to say this is a positive. So I'm going to go backwards because it'll have to go up. Let's see. Right in here, down 2 over 1. So somewhere in here, and then down 2 over 1. Okay, so it'll cross like this. All right, so let's do this. So I'm going to have a line. It'll go like this if I could draw. Actually, I think that's going to be good enough. Yeah, good enough. Very, very good estimate. All right. So let me change my pen color. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay. All right. Yes. All right. Now this other one. Okay. What do we have here? I see 2y less than or equal to -4 plus x, divide everything by 2. So now I see y is greater than or equal to, I'm going to say 1/2 x minus 2. I kind of move some things around there. Okay, you can pencil that in for yourself. All right, so what's really going to happen here? That means that my line will be here at -2, okay? However, it will go up positive. It will go up 1 and over, up 1 over 2, okay? And then up 1 over 2. Okay, that should be close enough. Up 1 over 2. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so let me draw my line through here. Okay, I've got my line. Now that I have this sketched, let's analyze what I have. I need to see which one of these will fall within where I'm going to color. So let me get back my, let's use the pink for the pink. So the pink says all my y values are less. So let me color that in. Okay, there's my pink. Okay, all my y values, right? It says all the y's are less. Okay, now let's go with a blue. Let me pick a blue. Okay, for the blue, it says all your y's are greater. Okay, so that has to be everything over here. Now I need you to look at the bottom of my screen. Let me go back and grab my pink. This bottom here, notice, see where it's gotten like a very dark blue? That is the only space that's going to work. I know this looks messy. You could probably do this with pencil and it'll look a little better, but at least we have, like, it created a new color for us. Go back and get this, all right? This new dark. Okay, well, when we go to analyze this, if I use -1, -2, that's not going to cut it. That won't be anywhere near that dark blue. So get rid of it. Now let's look at -5. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, -5 would be like right here, estimating. And down -6, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, even with my estimate, it looks to me like it's going to be on that blue line. And it's the only option left. And I've actually double checked this by putting it in the calculator because when I sketched it out, it was really rough. But C is the correct option. And it actually is on that line, even though I'm not the best artist in the world. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it will be. It'll be right here. So it is verified. It's option C. All right. Hey, and I don't blame you if you want to like fast forward through that, sketch it out for yourself and get it. There you go. All right, let's go to number 7. Number 7. Which of the following represents the graph of 2x squared plus y less than or equal to 2, x less than or equal to 1, and y less than or equal to 0. Okay, let's look at our y first. Okay, so y is going to be greater than 0, which means that's everything above the x-axis. Okay, it's all the positive y's. Okay, well, A is below. See, and how do I know which color? Because green is associated here. See that? We're looking at the x-axis, and the only one of these colors that goes below or above the x-axis is the green. Okay? So I know that we're looking at the green, and we want the green to be above the axis. We want that positive. So this eliminates A. And let's see, who else does it eliminate? It eliminates, okay, that's the only one we can eliminate with that. Okay. Okay, now for x is less than or equal to 1. Well, we need to look and see where x equals 1. Well, the only line at 1, y equals 1 here, that is, I mean, not y equals, I'm sorry, x equals 1 right here. X equals 1, it's the purple, okay? That's x equals 1. Here it is over here, x equals 1. And here again, x equals 1. Okay, that's where that is. Okay, well, we're not worried about A. We are worried about the other three. Well, it's saying that all of the values of x need to be less than the 1, so they need to be on the left side. Okay, well, that gets rid of B. So C and D, they're okay. Well, now let's look at the actual quadratic. Okay, well, we need to put that into an intercept form so we can see, and I'm already looking at it. I'm seeing that y needs to be less than everything. Okay, so if we change the form, we have y is less than or equal to 2 minus 2x squared. Okay, so in that form, we clearly see that all the values of y must be below the quadratic curve. Okay, so let's look at our C and D. Well, that has to be the blue. And for C, all of the blue is above the curve. Well, mark that out. That's not what we need. So the only one that satisfies each of those conditions, each of our piecewise conditions, is D. Okay. All right. This is the last question in this video. Thank you guys for being so kind and so wonderful and watching all the way to the end of the video and putting up with me again. Thank you for sharing and liking and subscribing and for your wonderful comments. Happy testing.